2023. We almost at the end of we almost at the end of February. Matter of fact, January is already gone. And we're about to close out February. The question is, what is it you want to do this year? And if it's about real estate investing, well, you're in the right place. So one of our speakers today, Tony, oh man, he got a good one for you today. We are a national community of real estate investors, surrounded around education, but we help each other and we motivate each other. And one of the things we like to do is just to showcase somebody in action, a real estate investor, somebody who says, you know what, this is what I want to do, and they are doing it. And they are gracious enough to be able to share that with us. And you get to ask questions. It's almost like when you watch HGTV and you have these questions, but nobody's really answering them. Well, today you get to ask those questions, and man, does he have a good one for you. Speaking of that, a good one, Tony, I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen real quick so you can come on out and share with us, because we have a lot of people on today from all over the United States. Now, I know you, Tony, but a lot of people don't know who Tony is, right? And they're just really curious, first, who is Tony, right? What made you really want to do this thing called real estate investing? Like, what's your why? Why do you want to do this? And not only why, but why are you doing it? And then what made you really compelled to kind of like connect with this community that's nationwide, locally, and support each other?
Thank you, Keith. Thank you and Scott and Umir for doing the things that you guys do for the community. Yeah, I mean, like you said, my name is Tony Smith. I'm here in Philadelphia. And my why is I want to be able to make a difference in life. It's not just about myself. I have a family. And I just know that growing up, seeing others do what they do and just not really thinking that it could be me. And so I'm a licensed agent, and I was, going to helping other investors make money at the table. So, I got a check at the table, is a commission check, right? And the investor got a profit check. And it's a big difference between a commission check and a profit check. I can promise you that. And me being a realtor, I thought that I knew all that I needed to know. And boy, was I wrong when I started diving in to the education. Once I became a part of this community and going deeper into the education, I realized that I didn't know hardly anything when it came to real estate investor, because an agent and an investor, totally two types of things, totally different. So I've been a part of the community since 2016. As I said, I was an agent, but then I just wanted, like, hey, wait a minute, this investor is at the table. He's leaving with this big profit check. I'm leaving with this little commission check. I was grateful, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, something's wrong with this picture. I definitely have to change that up. And I ran into a roadside sign and called the sign. They called me back, and it's been curtains ever since. I mean, I was able to get plugged in with like-minded individuals. Especially where I'm from in Philly, a lot of times, people get jealous, or they try to withhold information from you to try to one up you, so to speak. And when I became a part of this community, it's just it's almost like unreal. Like, everybody shares, everybody wants to see you win. Not used to that, and it's just been amazing. So yeah, I wouldn't first, thank God for allowing me to be able to do what I do, but without having this community, being part of this community, I don't know where I would be.
You know what, I was thinking the exact same thing when they were talking about this community, right? And they were talking about how people want to help you succeed in what you want to do. And I was like, yeah,
Right.
right. I'm like, you pulling my leg. You just trying to get me, right? Whatever that is, right?
Right.
So, but when I saw it, just like you, it just, wow, it was so much. It was like, this can't be real. I mean, you're gonna phase out. It's gonna burn out. You're gonna stop liking me at some point, right? And they just so much, motivation. And it's like somebody told, maybe you heard the same thing, is that you would give up on yourself before I give up on you.
Yeah, I heard that. Yep.
I thought it was just a cliche thing, and oh my gosh, it's true. And I know it's out of the norm, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely out of the norm, because I know with this community, when I first came in, I was gun-ho, ran hard, and then, life happens, and, things just start happening. And then I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like pushed it to the side for a minute, but I stayed connected to the community, and being able to, being with the community that has so many like-minded individuals all over the country. I ended up my five-star, the one that brought me into the game here in Philly was from Philly, and they kind of like things happened in their life, and it kind of took a back seat. So I just like, you know what, I just like forget it. I'm just going to fall back and go back into my old routine. Then because we have regionals and different things of that nature, I was able to go to the regionals and meet some individuals like Keith, the New York team, and me and the New York team, Jason McCracken and Joe Styles, and then we kind of like clicked. And from there, it was just like, man, all right, I can get back in it. And just being on the different webinars and things of that nature, mind building things and masterminds, and just hearing all the success that others was having, and them just push me, oh, you could do it, you could do it. And then, one day I just like, all right, I got a property that I want to wholesale. And I'm like, yo, I'm tired of wholesaling these properties. I want to do it. So Jason was like, well, why you don't do it? I came up with every excuse in the world. And Jason was like, okay, I'm still waiting to hear why you can't do it. I just told you. Jason said, no, that's you in your own way. He said, you say you're scared, you got the education, you don't have the money, you can get the money. And then I was like, you know what? Put me in, coach, put me in. And it's just been it's been a blessing ever since.
Yeah. You know what? And I told you this, but everyone else probably might not know. So as you was, life happens to everybody, right? And that's one thing people think it only happens to them. It happens to everybody. And whatever that is in life, it just happens, right? And then you need a team to kind of push you through, right? And some people, would think it's just their families, but sometimes it's not. It's somebody outside of your family that help pushes you through, because they don't have anything to gain from it but to see you win.
Right.
And when I sat there and I say, wow, that's really interesting. And then what really got me is when, you may not remember, but I remember you was doing a property tour. So this is not your first property tour, but you done a property tour like this. And I remember you actually sitting in one of the houses that you did a fix and flip on, and you had your son with you. And I was like, this guy is not letting anything stop him. I mean, he's connected, he understands, and he's actually in the do. And that was during COVID. So I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I got to get connected. And then when we met, I was like, I got to see this guy. And that's when we met at the event. And I was like, man, that's why I just had to meet you, because what you was showing and what you was doing is so genuine. It was like, I got to know who this guy is. And I'm thank you for allowing me to be able to facilitate this. But a lot of people say, okay, so what about this property? And so if you don't mind talking about what that is, I'm gonna share a little bit, but what type of property is this? Let me go ahead and get my screen here to share for you. And my Zoom is, there we go. Do you see my screen?
Yep, I see it now.
All right. So I think you already sold this property, right? You just recently sold it, right?
Valentine's Day.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So tell us about this property, because a lot of people are curious right now.
Yeah, so properties in like I said, I'm in Philadelphia. This was in North Philly, the Knightstown section of North Philly. And it was funny because a friend of mine who, is a contractor, actually bought me this deal. Now, again, I was going to wholesale it, and I put it on the market and everything to wholesale it. People was giving me bids, and I was going to probably make like $8,000 or something like that. And then the guy, he just ghosted me all of a sudden. So then the seller was like, well, what's going on? What's going on? I said, you know what? I'ma just buy it. I didn't have the money because I was tied up in other projects. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So I just went to my classes and just start implementing what I was learning in my classes. and just start talking to people. And then I talked to a gentleman, and I was able to raise $30,000, which was bridge money, because I had hard money lender that was going to give me the loan, but I needed the, you know, the gap money. The gap money is basically the money that the hard money lender wants you to have skin in the game. So I had to raise that money. So I was able to do that. And yeah, this is the front of it. Beautiful, right? Lovely out
Wait a
front.
minute, hold on. You said a lot right at the very beginning.
I
So
know,
hold
right?
on. You just said no, but because we have some people who've never actually done anything with real estate investing, right? And so they like this is their what we call first exposure, right?
Oh,
And they right now their mindset is like I want to do one thing. I just want to do wholesaling, right?
yeah,
And you just said, wait a minute. I wanted to do wholesaling, but because of the community and what you have learned, you knew how to pivot from that, because you says, wait a minute, I can do that, but if I change the strategy, I can do something else. Wow,
yes,
that's big right there.
yes, and that's
Because a
being a
lot of
part of
people
the,
would have just stopped.
I,
A lot of people would
or
just stop and said, I can't do anything, and left money on the
absolutely.
table.
That's why I love this community, and being a part of it, and just being exposed to the education I have, because this education have saved my hide so many times, so many times.
I understand. Yeah, me too. I'm not the fastest kid in school as in learning, but I get there, right?
I
So
don't like school. I dropped out of school, so that tells you. But I know that, you know, I had to do. Well, I didn't have to do it. Let me rephrase that. I chose to do it because I saw what it was doing for others, and I knew they were human just like me. They bleed red just like I bleed red. So the only thing was separating. The only difference was between us was being educated and not being educated. So I chose
wow.
to get educated.
And so you knew there was not only that you knew that there was a difference, because everybody had 24 hours in their day,
Uh,
but you just knew that they was able to manage their 24 hours differently. And based on what they knew, you just said, if I can just know what they know, because you believed in yourself, which is huge, because a lot of people don't believe in themselves. You believed in yourself, and you said, you know what, I'm going to follow the process. So, you know what, speaking of process, how many bedrooms, and we're going to go through these pictures, because let me tell you before I tell everybody, these pictures scared me.
they scared me
I'm
too.
like, Tony knows exactly. I know what I'm doing, but I was like, so every investor is different. But when I saw these pictures, Tony, I'm just telling everybody right up front, man, these pictures scared me, but they turned out
Mm,
beautiful. But go ahead,
yeah.
Tony.
So this is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house. The picture on my left is the entrance. You know, had a little foyer there for when you entered into the living room, and then the other picture is the upstairs hallway. Yeah, and as you can see, it was hardwood floor. All right, or you can go to the next one. Who don't want to cook in this kitchen, right? Beautiful kitchen. As you can see, they had drop ceiling, paneling on the wall. Now, when you see stuff like this, you automatically know this is grandmama house, right? This house has not been touched in years. The floor was kind of soft in different spots and things of that nature. You can see in the corner over there, it looks like the wall is starting to buckle a little bit. So I'm like, yeah, it was definitely scary.
So I just got to ask, what did you see when you saw that kitchen? What did you see? I mean, you have to have
I
some type of vision.
I did. I just, again, with just having the education and being a part of the community, and having confidence in myself, I said, look, I know, I could do something with it. So it was just like, all right, let's strip it down, and then once we start stripping it down, I could kind of start piecing it together. But I saw a vision.
Now, some people ask, did you go in there by yourself? Do you have like a general contractor with you? I mean,
Well, yeah, great question. So so my contractor is the one that actually brought this property to me. So he was there with me, but not all the times do I have that. But I'm also a licensed general contractor myself. I don't do the work, but I could go pull permits and different things like, different things like that. So I kind of have an eye. I kind of know, kind of can estimate what something is going to cost me. It's not always on, exact numbers, but I'm always very close.
Wow. So was there like ever a fire here or something? Do you know? Was there
No,
like
it wasn't. It's just, it was in the family. I think the person that I bought it from, they were the second owner of the house, and the house was built in 1920 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, so they just never really, did anything to it. Look at the drop ceiling. You got the moon, the moon roof right there in the drop ceiling. So you gotta love it. And then as you can see the floor, as you walk into on the left, the refrigerator is right there on the right hand side as you walk
Yeah.
in. So it's like a piece. It was a little, just like a little walkway that you could go walking through the kitchen and things of that nature. Again, as you see, I think they even had wallpaper up in there with the drop ceiling and the paneling. So those are things that like you dread. Like, all right, what am I going to find when I take these paneling off? And I found some
Yeah.
stuff like but we were
Not
able.
only you had drop ceilings, you had the wallpaper, which people don't want to deal with, and you had panels. So
Paneling. I
you
had the
had,
trifecta.
yeah, and then it looks like, was there like, did you have to wear a mask when you went through? Because it looked
No,
like I see like water damage or something.
yeah, it is water damaging, but I didn't. Maybe should I had maybe, but I didn't.
And then somebody said, did you use an inspector afterwards? Like,
Wh-
did you use an inspector?
to be honest with you, I didn't, but you should. I didn't, but you should, because I had two gentlemen that was with me that was contractors. So they were able to, assess everything correctly. So I didn't use one, but you definitely should always use a contractor. I mean, a
So what
home
I'm
inspector.
so what I'm hearing is, yes, you should have those, but because you had relationship with these guys and you've done properties with these guys before, you knew the quality of their work and you knew that they wasn't going to cut corners and stuff like that. So you have a solid, well, evidently with this property, you have a solid team. So did you
Right.
have any like rodents or anything like that?
I
Pests or anything?
thank goodness I didn't see any. If there were any, I didn't see any. If there were any.
And then Calvin's asking, did you have to repair the foundation or anything like that? I think we got some pictures, but you can
Yeah.
go ahead and speak just
The
real quick.
foundation, I had to do a new roof. And right there, that back wall where the door is at, I think there was some bricks that was a little discombobulated, but we were just, that, but it wasn't no major. I'd have ran if it was some foundation issues. I'd have ran.
I ain't gonna lie, I would have ran from this one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I know that's what I'm saying. I need to start getting the property that I be seeing you have, but down here is like, they far and in between. So it's like you kind of got to get what you can get.
But you turned this one out pretty. So let's go to the next one because a lot of people say, I don't know what you're talking about, Keith. So yeah, you're right. So what is this? I mean,
So
how many bedrooms with this again?
this was 3 bedrooms, but this is the living room and the dining room picture. The one on the left is the living room. They just had a bunch of stuff piled up in there that I had to get removed. And had drop ceiling in there as well. And then on the right side, that was the dining room. So as you can see, the floors, they don't look too bad, right? So I was able to save a little bit of money by refurbishing the living room and the dining room floors. I had to get some other pieces to kind of place them in place because some pieces was a little warped, but overall the floor was in pretty good condition. It had, some dark spots, which is character. So these are the original hardwood floors.
Wow. And it looks like you had a central AC.
No,
Was that also
see,
heat too?
that's different. That's deceiving because that's just all that is
Oh,
just hot forced air. So it wasn't it wasn't, it was a gas heater that would just force hot air. So it wasn't a central air unit in there. I had to install one.
wow. That's a good, because that, most people will look at that and say, hey, that exactly what I just said. Oh, without really, knowing too much about it. That's interesting. And then did you have like any electric issues?
I mean, I redid the whole electric.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So Let's get to the next picture because I think
Now, the one on the right was it was a closet to the it was a entry. So Jack and Jill, you heard of Jack and Jill door? Basically, what a Jack and
yes.
Jill door is a door that you go in and it goes to the other bedroom. So you can go in and out of the two bedrooms that's connected. So the picture on the left is the front bedroom that had that Jack and Jill door, and it had, you see that closet right here on the left with the mirror on it.
Mhm.
I ended up removing that closet. I took that out to give the bedroom a little more space. And then on the right hand side, it's a flat little closet where you could put a couple of things at. So this closet right here, the Jack and Jill door, I ended up closing it off on the middle bedroom side, and I made that into a closet.
Wow. Okay, so you definitely had vision to expand, which okay, because I guess that you kind of brought it up to today's standards.
Yeah.
Now, some people will say, now, did you really have that idea, or did you have somebody help you with those ideas? Because they're like, guys don't think of those type of things.
Oh my goodness, I'm appalled. No, I mean, I so we kind of bounce things off of each other, but I believe I came up with that idea to close it off because I just, because I know people like closet space, right? And I know this little
Yeah.
closet over there on the left, it was okay, but hey, if we could, but my contractor, I will say my contractor came up with knocking that closet out, but I came up with opening, closing off the one with the Jack and Jill door and making that the bedroom closet. You could kind of like,
Wow,
it's a walk-in, but it's not like a real big walk-in. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. That sounds like definitely you knew you have a good team, and they have your vision to be able to even to give you those type of ideas. So that's awesome. So what's the blue room, man?
That's the middle room. You can see the door right there. On the right,
Yes.
that's the Jack and Jill door that goes into the front bedroom.
Now, what did you have, like popcorn ceilings or anything like that?
No popcorn, thank God.
No popcorn. Okay.
But
Because some
even though
people
the
like,
ceilings was coming down anyway, because I had to run electric in the ductwork, so the ceilings pretty much came down anyway.
oh, so man, you did some good stuff here. Now, and then some people going to ask, like, I guess they'll see the after pictures about, the floors and stuff like that. And then now the red room.
The red room is the back bedroom. That's where at one point the seller had a leak, and she supposedly had got the roof fixed. And she sent me the paperwork, had a roof cert and everything. And while my guys was in there working one day after they put new sheetrock, it was raining. They're like, "Yo, we got a leak in the back bedroom." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "She just had the roof done not too long ago." "Well, it's leaking." So okay. So I get the paperwork. I called try to get in touch with the roofer, and left a message. Then the next day his wife called me, say, "Hey, yeah, you called about." I'm like, "Yes." Like, "Oh, unfortunately, my husband passed away. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
we no longer in business." So I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, I need a roof repair, and I didn't negotiate that in initially, but when that happened, I had to spend $2,500 on a roof, and I went back to the seller like, "Hey, listen, you gave me, my offer would have been different had I known I had to put a roof on there." So we adjusted the price a little bit.
Okay, so now you went back to be able to negotiate. That's awesome. I'm glad she honored that. And
Yeah.
that's like one of those lessons learned, right? As you kind of go through, and you don't learn those unless if you're not doing anything, right?
Right.
If we're just sitting on the couch and thinking about it and flipping through the channels, you don't get a chance to experience, and then your confidence level to be able to go back and negotiate, which the class kind of teaches us how to do that in a way that it creates a win-win, right? You still solve their
Right.
problems and you help solve your problem. So that's really awesome. That's really awesome. Sorry. So
Look at this bathroom. Who wouldn't want to
and
shower in there?
I told you I just would have ran.
Yeah, I mean, you see the toilet and the what is it? The kind of like a half sink almost. But the tub, you
haven't-
gotta admit, that tub was one of a kind. The barefoot claw tub.
Yeah,
Those are some nice tubs. And yeah, so I wanted to kind of keep it, but then, and I was like, nah, you know what, let's just get rid of it. Then my contract was like, but no, I could bring it back to life. I'm like, you could bring that back to life. He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, let's see. But he didn't, but we were able to figure something out though.
yeah, because my wife, she was looking at, she said, man, that's a nice tub. You got to keep that tub. I said, so you don't throw away things like that. I said, you got a better eye than I do.
Yeah, no,
But
you
as
don't.
again,
You don't. But that
yeah.
one was like really, really damaged. So
But yeah, so that's, I mean, this is
tight bathroom. It's kind of small.
so that so what did was the floor like, is it just the floor
So they got,
tiles?
yeah,
I mean,
yep. They got
okay.
that sticky tile down there.
Okay, so it
That's what
wasn't
that
like
was.
everything was like really bad. You didn't have
No,
to replace the whole floor. Okay. Somebody
no.
asked, do you have a backyard?
Well, there is it's small. It is a backyard, and I'm probably at the time I don't may not have a picture of the backyard, but I ended up doing some. I'm crazy. I ended up doing some work that I probably shouldn't have did, but with me being a realtor and knowing what sells houses, what buyers pay attention to, you would be surprised. The smallest thing that a buyer will, they're looking for a reason to exclude this property from their, from them purchasing it. So I said, okay,
Yeah.
the concrete was kind of like cracked up and buckling in spots. So I ended up redoing the whole concrete in the back of the house and on the ground. Then they had like the wire fence going around, which was leaning, right? And then across the hall, across the alleyway, they got this big ginormous dog that's always out there barking, and just the yard is a mess. So I ended up putting a privacy fence up out there as well.
Man, you solved a lot of problems.
I did, and it's like are you crazy? Like it was a lot, stuff that wasn't really expected to do. But I'm like, if this was me, I wanted to give that buyer a great experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And plus, you said you got in with, none of your own money, so you would definitely do
Hey,
diligent, because it sounds like you were very particular. You went back, you did a lot of negotiations with the sellers and your partnership with your building your team with your general contractor, and plus what and with the classes and the community. And you definitely. So now, is this the living room?
so no, so both pictures of the dining room. The one on the left is give you more
Uh,
of the ceiling and the one of the party walls. But the one on the right, I want you to pay close attention. If you see in the left hand corner, you see like where the ladder at. You see like a little cutout.
yes.
That's where the steps are at. The steps go there, and why they had a little cutout right there, I have no idea. So what I ended up doing was closing that off, because I didn't want a little kid coming down the steps and they think they Superman or somebody, and try to jump through to get to the dining room. So I excluded that. But then see where this wall is at, is you have the archway right there, and then more of the wall. So I ended
Mhm.
up taking some of that wall out to open the house up a little bit, and you'll see it, on the after pictures. Isaac, my son. So I took some of the wall out, but I couldn't take it all the way out, because when you see the after pictures, you'll see the steps are right there. But I was able to get it back enough to where when you walked into the living room, you could see a little further than you see right there. Because right now in this picture is just like a opening. You can walk, just a little small opening to walk through from the
Yeah.
living room to the dining room.
Yeah, it sounded like Patricia was saying the same thing. She had a property like that in California. She didn't understand either. And it doesn't even look like that doorway is even like wide enough to walk through.
But it it's tight, but it was definitely wide enough.
Wow. Now here's the only picture I think we saw the back. So man,
Right.
you got to explain this one.
Yeah, you see, you see what I'm saying? That they got the funky fence, and I did a little bit of brick pointing on it and stuff like that. But yeah, I had to, I put up. So now I separated the yards though. I put the privacy fence up all the way around the yard. So now it definitely looks way better than that.
Yeah, and one of the things that, even though, people are saying, well, maybe you should, sometimes we second guess ourselves, right? But
Mhm.
when you really think about it, you know your market, right? You analyze the deal, you understand, that area, what
Right.
the buyers are looking for in areas, you know what sellers are trying to do, and you just try to uh, find that middle in between. So you put some work into this as you learn and as you move forward. And so I do the same thing. Sometimes I second guess myself, but you came out as a win. So I know a lot of people are probably thinking to themselves, "Oh, he's questioning himself." No, no, we all do that
Yeah.
because we
It's a
always
part of
want to
the
do
game.
yeah, it's part of the game. We want to do the next thing, the next better one as we go through, and that's what makes us better. And doing things like this, Tony is actually being, as I call, vulnerable, and saying, "Hey, this is what I did. I learned. I was moving. Yeah, I wish I could have done this. I couldn't have done that, but he still moved forward."
Right.
And that's really awesome. All right, so I think we're getting close to. Oh, yeah, yeah. I was curious about this piece right here.
So
What was that
yeah.
doorway?
See that right there, the little breakup on the right hand side, that's the backyard. So I ended up having to do some cement work right there where the bricks are discombobulated. I actually had my guys, they built some wooden steps and wooden steps and also a railing to come out into the backyard. Because there were, as you can see, there were no steps there.
Yeah, yeah. That's definitely a trip hazard.
Oh,
Woo!
look at
I'm
this.
just gonna let you know, Tone. When I saw this picture right here, I was done. I was like, turning
Come
off my
on,
computer.
Keith. Come on. Who wouldn't love this basement? Come on. So yeah, when I went down there, I'm like, man, woo. But we were able to just, do some things to it to make it. I didn't fully finish the basement, but I made it dry and clean for you to
Yeah, I
do
was going
some
to ask
things.
about that. Yeah, and when people see the pictures of the after, they can definitely see that you definitely put something into it, and
A
and
little
and
something.
y'all thought about it. Yeah, and y'all definitely people are saying, "Wow."
Then see the
They're looking at it
electric,
like,
how the electric just all over the place.
yes.
Yeah, so I try and put a new box in there and everything. Yeah,
So
yeah, lovely. Look at that wall on the left.
yeah, that's what I said. When I saw this, I said, "Man, you have vision." And you were determined, I again, I was applauding you last night. You didn't even see it. I was like, man, this is really really awesome. Um, and but you made something that was see. And here's the thing about it, right? You learn, but I would have passed away. A lot of people, majority of Americans would have just passed this away and just let it go. But you saw something in there because you learn so you reduce your risk of like a project like this where people are just like, no, but you say, you know what, I can do this, I can do this, I'm gonna do this. And you made it that way. And so that's really, really awesome because your why helped you get through this,
It did.
right? Because you say, I can't back out. I have to keep moving forward because going backwards solves what? Nothing. And that's
Not
really
even.
awesome. So now that the scariness is gone now, right? So
Yep, yep,
this is
yep. So
awesome. So
yeah, and
go
in the
ahead.
front again, I'm an overachiever, right? So you can't really see it there, but the concrete out front
Yes.
was all broken up, and first thing in my mind, trip hazard. So again, I paid someone to come and break out like six blocks, re-pour it, and then two of the steps were uneven, so I had them re-pour two of the steps. I had to redo the whole front porch at the porch because it was sinking. So I had to reface that whole front porch, put a new window there, as you can see the board on the other picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I obviously put a new door, new storm door. And then up top, I really just painted the siding. I just painted it white.
Yeah. That's a big difference. People are saying that's awesome. That is a humongous difference. And then it was funny because I noticed because you updated your that property, the neighbor to the right as looking at it kind of updated just a little bit.
Yeah, they ended up
It's
putting the
funny
door
how,
on there.
yeah,
No,
it's
but
kind of
know what?
funny.
Funny enough, they actually put their door on first, believe it or not.
What?
Yeah, I don't know why, but they actually put their door on first because I wasn't going to put a screen door on there. I just was putting a new door on it. Then my contractor was like, "Well, no, you should just put a screen door on there, a security door." I'm like, here you go, costing me money. Then I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. It's an extra $250.
There you go. Yeah, awesome. I'm telling you, that looks nice.
Yep.
That's
Thank
really nice. And I like how you did this piece right here of the concrete, and you just, kind of brought it,
And that's
you
not
just
even
really brought it to
concrete.
life.
That's wood, Keith. Wood with some paint and some
What?
some flakes. Just threw some flakes on it.
Man, you got some skills I didn't know you had, man. You have
I
been
ain't do it.
throwing out. And that's what somebody said. That's a lot of work. So you didn't really do this work. Your general contractor did the work.
Man, it
You
wouldn't
just
have
told them
been.
what to do.
Y'all would have been laughing at me had I did it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is the front bedroom. So I decided upstairs, the steps and the bedroom, bedrooms in the hallway. Hey, I'm just going to put some carpet down. But this is the main bedroom. So what I did was I just, I took the ceiling out, I put some hi-hats in there and put a ceiling fan up there. Now you can see on the picture in the right, well, both the pictures you can see in that corner where I told you in the left where there was a closet at. You can see it's no longer there. So it gave the room a little more space.
Yes. Wow.
And then the picture on the left, believe it or not, this is virtual staging at its best.
Yes, that is, because I kept looking back and forth. I was like, okay, so you created a way so that way people can have the vision when they come in and see, like some people that can't,
Well,
see an empty room and they don't have that vision, but you gave it to them.
only online. Because
Yes.
when you go
Yes.
there, it's gonna be empty. But if you look at it online, it'll give you the vision. But when you go there, it's just a plain blank slate like it is on the right hand side.
And I noticed you did the recessed lighting and everything, because that's
Yep.
the new electric and everything. That's
Yep.
really awesome.
Now in those electric boxes, they're actually I have you could plug USB cables up to them as well.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. And
Yeah,
I can
so
see you got the switches too. I see the switches on them for the
yeah, I
ceiling
got the
fans and for
switches
your
on the
lights and
wall,
stuff.
and this was the one picture on the right there. That's that little closet that I was talking about. And I said that it was a little closet. It's just real small. It's hollow. You could probably hang a few things up in there or something like that, but it's not you're not going to get a lot in there. Trust me, it's real narrow in there.
But that's the neighborhood though. So you was
Right.
matching the area. So people who come in the area already have that. But what you did, you just transformed it to
Right.
today's time, and man, that's really awesome.
Yeah, and this is
And
that.
then
Remember the Jack and Jill door?
yes.
This is that closet that I've closed off the door on the entrance from the other middle room. I closed that off, and now it's just a closet for the front bedroom.
And I noticed you also got rid of the doors. You actually put
Put
in
new doors on there. Yes.
and hardware and everything. Yes. Now, did you have to replace the windows, or were the windows okay?
Some I may have replaced like throughout the whole house. I know I did the 3 in the back bedroom. I made like 4 or 5 windows. I may have had done. Because the other windows they
Okay.
were functioning fine. Yeah, so I lucked out.
Okay. And if somebody asks, in Philly, did you have an outlet on each wall
Well,
and one
code.
every 6 feet or something?
That's
Ah,
the
code.
code.
Okay.
That's
So
the
you know
code.
the
So
code.
yeah,
It's the
yeah,
answer is yes.
yes.
That's awesome. Well, look at that
Look at
tub.
that bathroom. So we ended up putting on the floor. We ended up putting granite tile. That's granite tile on the floor, and Isaac, that's granite tile that's on the floor, and then so we see the clawfoot tub, but it's not the clawfoot tub. So what my guys did, they found one somewhere else that was little at a warehouse or something that had a little less damage than the one that we had, and they just you know, it was a little touching up that they had to do. So we were able to still pull off what we were trying to do with the tub. And then it was like, okay, you know, give them the shower, the farm style shower where the door is. I mean, you know, everything is running out of the floor instead of out of the wall. You know what I mean? To kind of
Yeah.
maximize space.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is
you know,
awesome. That is awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
got the
I was
little
looking at the
mirror and the
pictures. I was like,
lights. To see it got a bigger sink in
yes,
there.
yes, that is awesome.
So if you go back a little bit, can you go back that, because I don't think that
Yeah.
it yeah, so on the left hand side, the far left picture, right? Can't really see it,
Hmm.
but where the entrance is at to come in and out of the bathroom there. So the
Hmm.
bathroom is small, right? So
You're right.
which way are you going to really open the door up? You know what I mean? If you open it out, it's blocking stuff. If you open it in, it's going to be hectic. So what we ended up doing was, we ended up putting a Yep, somebody said it. We ended up putting a
I
pocket
was
door.
going. Oh wow!
Yeah,
I was wondering about that, but I was like, but I forgot to ask it. But I'm glad you brought that up. That is
yeah.
awesome.
So we
People
maximized
say
the
I can't.
space.
They said they can't believe this is the same house. That's what when I saw this, I was like, wow, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, no,
This is a good one.
yeah,
The pocket doors. That's
pocket
awesome.
door. And this is the back room where it had all that stuff going on at. You know, like I said, it still was a little closet in there. So these are the three so I think it might be 4. So I did change 4 windows in here. So there's 4 windows in this bedroom.
Wow.
And I went with, instead of going with the, you know, recessed lighting throughout, I just gave recessed lighting and a ceiling fan in the main bedroom, and in the middle bedroom and the back bedroom I just did dome lights.
You know what? I noticed that, and I was like, okay, so you definitely was appealing to, of course, the homeowner, right? So you
Hmm.
knew exactly, where to, bathrooms, right? Everybody knows about that. The master bedroom, and then of
Hmm.
course the kitchen, which we will get to. But yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah. This is the
Look at
living room.
that.
Now, remember I told you about the hole, I go up them few steps and there was a hole in the wall right there. You can see I closed that off.
Yes.
And then now you can also see the opening that I did in the underneath the steps. I cut that wall down, but I kept the steps there, but I cut that wall. So now you see how you could see straight through now a little better than you
Yeah.
could. So yeah, so I did that. I put
I
hi-hats
see you kept the
downstairs.
floors.
Yeah, I
I
told
see the
you.
floors. Yeah,
Told you.
that's awesome.
I kept the floors. We sanded them down, shellacked them, and voila.
Wow. Look at this one. Yeah,
And look,
man, I love that exposed
that
brick. Oh my
exposed brick.
gosh.
Yeah, I was like, listen, when we take that on, like, yo, what the brick look like? Because I was always infatuated by houses that I saw with the brick. I said, I want to try, I want to try, I want to try. So we were able to, like a big kid. So we were able to pull that off, and they came out beautiful. And as you can see right there, the door, the entry of the door, right? Remember, it was a foyer right there. So by me knocking that
Yeah,
out, it gave the living
you
room a
opened
little
it
more
up.
space, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the same front door.
Yes.
Wow, that is awesome. And I see the recessed lighting in here also.
Yep. So the first floor I did recessed lighting throughout, but the
So
upstairs I just did it in the bedroom, the master bedroom.
did you also put an alarm system? Is that an
Well,
alarm
so
system
that's
there?
my alarm system. When I sold the house, it came with me.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I needed to have something there because, you know, I'm in and out. People see stuff going on. Hey, I don't want them to get no bright ideas. And then, like I said, I was in North Philly.
So you knew your area. So
I
yeah,
knew,
so you
yeah,
glazed the
I
bricks,
know
right?
Philly, born and raised.
So you glazed the bricks. That's what somebody asking, right?
Glade,
That's what
yeah,
that's
yeah. We sanded, we stripped them, chipped them off a little bit, then filled in some gaps and then glazed it. Yep. And
wow,
you see, I
that
even
is
gave them my
awesome.
outlet right there at the bottom.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like,
Yeah,
you definitely, and again, you saved the floors. That's
that
really
was, yeah.
awesome.
And I gave them the recess lighting. They're dimmable too.
Wow, that's awesome. So this is the
This
other view.
is the other view, again, with the virtual staging on the right, you know, with the living room and the dining room stage. And remember, we could see before, that other picture before, on the before pictures, remember that wall that was there on the left side
Mhm.
going towards the living room? See how it opens up, and now you can see more through the house, straight through the house.
Yes.
And I put recessed lightings in there in the dining room as well.
But you
And
made this place feel really big. I mean, the just the space, the colors, just wow. And
that's
you
what I
made
was
it
shooting for.
usable. You made it
Exactly.
usable.
There was a lot of dead
Um,
space.
Yeah,
A lot of dead space.
and that's the
See
other view.
the staging right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and you can walk around and everything. Man, look
Yep.
at this. Look at
The
that kitchen.
went the granite. So I did the same floor that's in the bathroom downstairs. That's the granite tile. I did granite countertops, and then I did the backsplash. Gave them a stove. The stove is a 5-eye stove. With a fryer. What is it? Air fryer built in.
What?
Oh yeah. Then I gave them the microwave, soft close cabinets throughout. Dishwasher, garbage disposal, and then you can see right there on the right hand side over top of the refrigerator. I even gave them a little cabinet over top of that, as well as giving them a stackable washer and dryer right in the kitchen with storage space over top. And this stackable washer and dryer is actually Bluetooth rated. It's you can use your Bluetooth for it to operate it.
Wow.
I think I put a little more than I should, but it worked out. It was, I just made somebody happy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you definitely get some referrals. Like somebody say, "Hey, can you remodel my house?"
Yeah,
Man, you have an awesome team. Look at that kitchen,
yeah.
the
We got a lot of
backsplash
cabinet
and
space.
everything. Yeah, so a place that it may seem like it didn't have a lot of space, from what the beginning picture to this picture, man, and then that stove itself that's really awesome. And I see that you upgraded also the outlets here too.
Yeah,
Uh,
I put all new outlets all throughout the house, all through. So that's one
yeah,
thing they can't say is that they don't have enough outlets. And then
yeah.
and then
Now
this is the
here is the
basement,
scary basement.
the scary
The
basement.
scary basement.
Right, it don't look as scary now, right? You see, I put a new central air
Yes.
system in there, ran new electric, new hot water tank, and we kind of parged the walls where we, made them so they're not falling, and then just painted the rafters and painted the basement floor. And again, it's not a
Yeah.
complete finished basement, but it's a clean, dry basement. Isaac.
Yeah, and that's important. And I know we get ready for the numbers, but before we forget, you know, uh, now a lot of things that Tony was talking about, how he learned in the community and how he kind of put all this together. If you right after this, it's a different Zoom meeting that really kind of start the journey. Tony, started that way. I started that way. And so if you want to, get to that, okay, how do I do that? Then there's a meeting right after this, which will be in here pretty soon. Just ask for the person who invited you to this meeting, and they'll get you connected to the next meeting. But I think we're about to get ready to show some numbers here. Is that? Oh yeah, we about to show some numbers. This is what everybody's waiting for. Sorry. So walk us through this one, Tony.
All right, so basically, originally I was supposed to, me and the seller agreed at 65,000, but because of the roof situation, I was able to go back, and she was gracious enough to take 2,500 off, and so that helped a lot. Then the closing cost is 30,000 because the closing cost is because you got to purchase the property from the seller, right? So there's closing costs there.
Mhm.
Then you got a closing cost when you sell the property to the buyer. So that 30,000 is a combined closing cost for purchasing and selling. And yeah, I kind of got a little unique on this thanks to my man Jason McCracken. I mean, that's my guy. He's always pushing me and ask, one time I said, listen, Jason, I want to ask the seller, not this particular deal. I want to ask the seller to hold off on some of the money because I gave her 62.5, but I was able to talk to the seller and get her to hold. It was supposed to have been 20,000. I was supposed to give her when I sold it, but it ended up being 17.5 because of the 2,500. But so Jason was like, well, listen, bro, the answer is no unless you ask. So all my deals, I've had the seller hold some of the money until we were able to sell, and I owe that to my guy Jason McCracken, who always challenges me. So now holding costs is 9 months of holding costs. Again, you have to bring money to the table, and then you pay interest payments every month. So it was 9 months, but I only actually paid 6 months because my contractor went 3 months over. So I ended up docking his money and getting a little bit money back to pay for the 3 months that, you know, he went over for because I had to get an extension, right? And then yeah, so again, I needed to bring, like, to purchase the property, I needed to bring like 19,000 to the table. So I ended up raising $30,000 you know, to bring the gap funding, to bring that money to the table for the hard money lender. So it's literally no money out of not one red penny out of my pocket. The repair cost was 55,000 to do all that you seen that was done in there.
Wow. You do, I'm telling you right now, you know how to negotiate, because that was a lot of work. And then just to hear, you know, not only did you learn, but the community supported you and helped you, and then you was able to raise, and this is a deal with no money out of your pocket.
No
Man.
money.
And you learned how to do that.
Yeah, I learned the classes, wow. And then again, just being a part of the community and just getting the confidence and the push to hey, Jason said the answer's no unless you ask. So I always keep that in mind.
So you all in at 156, you know, 1,000. Wow. And then you sold it.
Then I sold it for 179,777. Don't ask me where I got that number from. I just made up a number just to get, I don't know, just to get people attention. Like, what is this? Yeah. But
you sold it, paid back everybody, and now you sitting over a little bit over 23K.
Yeah, yeah. But this was hard money. I got the hard money from the repair cost came from the hard money lenders.
But you was already doing other deals. This is just one of the deals that you were doing.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like, online, it's like, well, you know, that's just for one deal, and it looked like it took 9 months. Then, you know, there's only a couple more months left for the year, but you gotta understand, this is no money out of Tony's pocket, and he had other deals going on. So I'm just thinking, you know, just imagine if you had like 40, not that you want them to be this long, but they all come out around 23K. I mean, listen, that's Keith, a good raise.
Not to cut you off. You remember, that's the profit check I received, right, at the table. Remember, there's a commission check too.
That's right. You're an agent.
I'm an agent. So I pay my agent handsomely. I pay my agent handsomely. I pay my agent 3.5%.
So wait a minute. So you telling me that there's people out there who's a real estate agent and people who's out there who are general contractors, and they say, no, I don't want to do this. You saying you should do this?
Absolutely. I was able to give myself 6 more thousand, well, a little over 6 more thousand.
Oh my goodness. That is awesome, man. I just want to give you congratulations on this.
Thank you.
I know we're getting close to the end of the hour. We got to get ready to switch over to the next one, but man, this was definitely a doozy. And I agree with Charles. You had a strategy. The way you came in and the way you thought through it, and because you had access to the education to be able to pivot whenever you wanted to, then you had the support of the community to navigate, because that's what a lot of people are looking for. They're like, hey, I want to learn to get that level of knowledge up. And at the same time, they're looking for the support. And when we say that this community support, you just showed it to us. And I sure did want to say thank you for first being vulnerable and showing this. And I love your story.
No, thank you. I'm the type of person, I really don't like sharing, but I just know that, you know, being a part of the community, and I know there's people out there that's just like me that think they can't do it. I didn't have the confidence before. I made up all the excuses in the world why I couldn't do it instead of finding, the reasons why I could do it. But being a part of this community and having the education has definitely helped me think differently. And I'm glad to
Yeah,
be a
I
part
agree.
of it and can't wait to see everybody at Nationals at the end of March.
Well, I tell you what, I'm ready to see you too, man. And this is really awesome. So for everybody, hey, thank you for being here. Again, if you want to, how did Tony start? Get with the person who invited you to this meeting, get to the next meeting, really plug in. This is really awesome. Tony, again, thank you. Scott
Thank
Buckles,
you.
thank you for allowing us to use this platform, because if it wasn't for you to get this one going, we wouldn't know that there's property being taken care of, done, or some type of transaction every Saturday. So next Saturday, be here. We have another good one. Not sure where it's going to be, but get plugged in. And everybody, y'all have a great day. Again, Tony, any last words real quick before we leave?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, if you're on the fence or thinking you can't do it, like I'm not a smart guy, right? I just know that I needed to surround myself with people that are smarter than me, people that are going down the same path as I want to go, and just stay plugged in and get educated. You can do it. And this community is they don't pay me to say this. Like, the community is phenomenal. It's nothing that you get real cell phone numbers. You build real relationships. Me and Keith, we talk, periodically, throughout the year, So yeah, I mean, you can do it. Just stay focused.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Tony. Thank you, Scott
Thank you.
Buckles, y'all, as the whole home team. Hey, this has been an awesome one. Hey, see y'all next Saturday. This is a wrap. Thank you again.
All right.